When we were at the gym, he was like, oh, let's go hit legs. Like, he fully thought we were gonna like work out together. And then he was like, I'm sorry that I never told you this, but I love you. It's like, what the fuck?
You're very pretty. You're very pretty. You're very pretty. You're very pretty.
Hi guys, my name is Rashonda if you're new here. Today's video I'm going to be doing this makeup look and I'm going to be sharing the story about my creepy supervisor. I'm a little tired. I kind of didn't want to film this video, but I have not filmed a get ready with me on this channel in a really long time. So I'm going to be doing my makeup. Both of my nails on my middle finger fell off and I quickly like glued on some nails and painted my nails so that I a little bit more presentable. Let's get into I also just want to apologize if you hear fireworks every now and then. It's because it's literally like the day before 4th of July. I also just watched Love Island, the episode tonight. Are you guys watching Love Island? Please let me know if you're watching Love Island. One of my coworkers, she was like, I watch Love Island, so now we've been talking about it at work, which is probably not a good place to be talking about Love Island. I'm gonna try my best not to skip steps. Like, I always skip steps when I'm filming my makeup. I just don't, for some reason I can't remember the steps that I need to do in the right order. I'm almost out of this because I notice it's like the seal. Okay, now my face is all prepped. Okay, let's start from the beginning. When I started my job, I only started this job maybe like, I'm almost at a year. Like, I just switched jobs because the job I had before was just mentally draining. So I switched jobs and I really liked this job when I started. I feel like there were a lot of really nice people. But I remember when I first met him, I remember the first time I ever met him, I was like, he's weird. Like, is that? And it was because he shook my hand. And I know shaking somebody's hand, like, that's not a new thing. That's something you do, you know, when you get a job or whatever. But it was the fact that our job is very, like, I would say it's a very casual job. Like, there's no reason to, you know, shake hands with people or whatever. Like, I feel like looking back on it, it was probably just an excuse to like touch me. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't shake people's hands. I don't like it when, oh my god, sometimes customers at my job will like try and fist bump me or like touch me. It's the men. It's always the men. And I'll always just be like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to do that. I'm just going in with my refy brow pencils. I'm using the shades Dark and Espresso, and I usually just mix them until I like the way my eyebrow look. And I like a very thin brow, so that's what we're going for. So like from the get-go, I was like, he's weird. But sometimes it's hard, you know, to be like, oh, this person's weird. Do I have a valid reason for him being weird? No, I don't. But I remember he would just say weird things and then I would go like without talking to him for a while because he would say like weird things. He would just say weird things. I can't really explain it the best. But then I noticed that he was a micromanager. Like, something he would do is, like, example, at my job, sometimes your coworkers, when it's busy or like all the spaces are taken, one of your coworkers will help you. They'll help you, like if there's nothing else to do, they'll help you with your task, right? Which is like a common thing, especially if it's busy. Like, you don't want to be the only person doing that one thing. You want somebody to help you. Ultimately, it's going to get the job done quicker. So when my friend would help me with my work, he would come over and like assign them a task somewhere else, and then he would creep in. I probably shouldn't use the word creep in because that automatically makes it feel creepy. He would, like, you know, find a way to like slide, insert himself in the task even though your friend was just doing it. And to me, it felt like he was finding any way to like talk. It literally got to the point where I was like, you know, I don't need you to help me with this task. Like, I would literally say that to him. To me, it felt like he was kind of like isolating. Oh no, you can't have your friend here. Let me creep in. I guess from like giving him the benefit of the doubt, it's like, oh, I actually need someone to do that task. Let me help out since I did move someone away from this task. So let me help her. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it as that. But it was like too common. And it was like minutes after the person would come over and help. That's when I was like, okay, you're starting to get on my nerves because you're isolating. It's giving micromanager, telling people to do things like a dog. He also was not the best like communicator too when it came to the task. I genuinely thought I was going crazy. And then I started talking to my coworkers about it, and I realized like this is a common occurrence. He's doing this to like other people too, and he's actually getting on like people's nerves. Like he's actually like, there were days where I would leave work irritated because of him, you know what I mean? Like there would be days where I'd literally call out because the day prior he did some weird shit and I did not want to see him the next day. So then I was like, you know what, this had been going on for like quite a few months, y'all, like quite a few months. And in comparison to all the other managers, like the other supervisors, like there are probably like 8-10 supervisors. He's the only one. There was one other supervisor that was almost as annoying as him, but that supervisor let up. That supervisor stopped being annoying, and it's because I started gray rocking that supervisor, and they kind of got the hint immediately that they needed to stop doing whatever they were doing. Y'all know me, I always open my foundation drawer, the drawer with my foundations in it, and I'm like, oh my god, let me try new foundation, and then I literally use the same 3 or 4 that I really like. So let's see, what can we... So then one day I was like, I've had enough of it. So I finally was like, I'm gonna talk to him, you know what I mean? Because maybe, let me lower my camera just a little bit, like maybe he's not aware that like his actions have effect on like other people, you know what I mean? Like maybe he genuinely doesn't realize what he's doing. So I told him, I pretty much laid out, like pretty much I was like, you're not a good communicator, you're a micromanager, this, that, and the third. Like I laid it all out for him, and he was like, I appreciate your feedback, I really do. But like he was deflecting every single time he would say, oh, I appreciate your feedback, he would be like, but this, that, and the third, and he would like deflect. Like he was talking about how like we don't hear how the higher ups talk to him, so and so, like really, like he was literally like deflecting. So then I would say for the first 2 weeks it felt like he was being passive aggressive, like I had hurt his ego, which really, it didn't surprise me, but it annoyed me because after we had that conversation I asked him if he was like okay. Like I didn't want him to feel any type of way, because I wasn't attacking his character, I was just pointing out that, you know, you're making people miserable. My foundation looks so red. Did I shake the bottle enough? I don't know. We're gonna give it a while, y'all. I don't know, you gotta trust the process. Yeah, I felt like he was being passive aggressive. A few of my coworkers thanked me for having that conversation with him because they felt like his behavior improved, but a few of them were like, no, it still feels like he's like micromanaging. It feels like he's like having us run around like doing the most, right? I've learned that if I want my concealer to look good, I have to go in with one that's closer to my skin tone first. Then, as I've told you guys like so many times before, let's see if I can find the right brush. I need to just label this. I think that's what I need to do. The power of labeling is so underrated, because then you know where everything is and where to put it. As I said on my channel and my vlogs, I noticed that this specific supervisor started working out at my gym, and I was like, oh, this is awkward, you know what I mean? Because it's already somebody I don't like, and it's my supervisor. Like, if it had been one of my coworkers, I probably would not have been as creeped out, but the fact that it was my supervisor made me so uncomfortable. But you know, we always kept it very like minimal. Like I'd be like, good morning, he'd be like, good morning, he'd be like, what are you working out today? I'd be like, I'm working out this. He'd be like, okay. Like it was always very short interactions. Like we never worked out together, nothing like that, nothing crazy, y'all. Use a beauty blender to like further blend this out. And he told me he started working out at that gym that we go to in January, and I didn't notice him until March. That really threw me off, because I was like, I have not seen you here. But you know, I'm not, everybody deserves to go to the gym, you know what I mean? Like it's not, I don't own this gym. Anyway, I started working out at the gym, and just like within the past few weeks, things have just escalated. Like one day at work, he tried to give me, I have so many new concealers, and I have so many concealers that I love that I haven't used in a while. So I'm like, I'm gonna go in with this hourglass concealer for just this is just to add extra brightness. Y'all, I'm like sitting with my leg on my chair, so that's why I look lower. But yeah, he tried to give me like free bread, and thankfully I had just gone to like the grocery store, so I had a lot of bread, so I said no. Then he was like, oh, he did that in like the break room. He was like, oh, do you want this free bread? Like it was weird the way that he like came up to me, and I was like, no, because you know, I just bought bread. That's what I said, because I was thinking, oh, it's just like, you know, a lot of my other coworkers have offered to give me like free things and stuff. And then he was like later that day, or maybe the next day, he was like, oh, you should listen to this like radio station. They play really good music at like 10, 11 o'clock. You know, I thought that was weird, like the timing of it. Like he wanted me to listen to it at like specific time. I immediately was like, that's a little weird, because it was like he had never like done that before. It was kind of throwing me off in a sense. And then one day at work, when I was about to leave or something, he was like, oh, I want to hit legs, something like that. He said that. Couldn't really hear him. I thought, I was like, oh, okay, that was weird, you know what I mean? But I didn't really think too much about it. And then when we were at the gym, like, I don't know, the next day or like later that week, I can't remember, y'all, the dates, you know, because it's just so much weird stuff. Later that week, he was like, when we were at the gym, he was like, oh, let's go hit legs. Like he fully thought we were gonna like work out together. You know, y'all, if y'all know me, seen my videos, I like to work out alone, you know what I mean? There's probably only one time where I worked out with someone, and it was like my friend, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like some random, not my fucking supervisor. And I remember at the time I was like, no, you know, I like to work out alone. I'm okay. I think I was telling him I was like, I'm okay. Like he was fully trying to follow me to do my workout with me. I was like, no, I'm okay. And if you guys notice, like in my vlog, I film myself working out and doing my little exercises. What I didn't notice till I watched the footage back is that you can literally see him like in the background staring. And of course I edit these clips down. He stares for like 10 seconds, you know what I mean? Just watching me work out. And then he'll go back and like, oh my god, the fact that I have it on camera, because he cannot, because I film on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. That camera, first of all, it's black, so it blends in with like the gym equipment, and he doesn't know that I film my workout. But yeah, you can see him like multiple days just like staring. And you know, I will say, like, sometimes at the gym I will stare at people when they're working out to like, oh, I want to try that machine, or oh, they're really putting in work, or like just like disassociating and staring. But like the fact that there's already been like weird things going on and he's staring. One thing I did leave out, I forgot to mention, is one day one of my coworkers came in on her off day and she dropped off some like cupcakes from her other job that she works at. And she was like, oh, these are for people if they want any, and then she left immediately. So I was like, ooh, let me go grab one. So I went over and I grabbed one, and I noticed he wasn't grabbing any. So I asked him, I was like, oh, why aren't you grabbing any? You know what I mean? Why aren't you grabbing any cupcakes? And he said, oh, I only eat sweet things with someone special. So I said, oh, your girlfriend. Like, you know, because he has a girlfriend. But what's crazy about him having a girlfriend is the 9 months that I've known him, he's never once mentioned his girlfriend. Like, I didn't know he had a girlfriend until one of my coworkers was sharing a story about how he was making her uncomfortable. And she was like, yeah, he has a girlfriend too, like that. And I was like, what? Like, that's crazy, because he never, you know what I mean? Like, my other coworkers who have partners, they mention their partners like within 10 minutes of you just talking to them. They'll say something like, oh, I watched that with my girlfriend, or I watched that with my boyfriend. Now I'm going in with the Sephora concealer. I love this. It's so bright. It's so bright. I'm actually gonna let this dry down a little bit instead of just blending it out. It's only like $8, y'all. The full coverage concealer. Like, never not once mentioned his girlfriend. And then after I mentioned her, he said, I have a girlfriend, but that doesn't mean I'm married. Oh, and when I was like, whoa, what does that mean? What does that mean? Whoa, like, are you in like a polygamous? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? He like deflected the conversation. He was like, you called me dangerous. Like, he tried to like deflect and change the whole conversation, which was crazy to me. Because you just said something crazy, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to understand what you meant by you have a girlfriend, but that doesn't mean you're married. For real, I'm really trying to like be comfortable. Anyways, so, and then I remember later that day after I was like, why didn't you get any, you know, cupcakes? He was talking about how he's still looking for his wife despite having a girlfriend, y'all. He's still looking for his wife. So that tells you a lot about him and how he values his relationships. Anyways, then I worked on like a Wednesday and he was off and he came into the store. I remember I saw him in line, but I wasn't 100% sure that it was him. I was like, oh my, he's off. Like, why would he come in on his off day? I was like, that's weird. And then when he got to my register, that's when I realized it was him. Sorry guys, yeah, it's literally like, it's like 10 o'clock right now. And he was like buying avocados and I was like, why are you buying so many? Like, he had like 16 avocados. I was like, are you making a salsa? And he was like, no, I just eat them like that. And then he was like, I'm sorry that I never told you this, but I love you. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because it's such an awkward place to confess that you're in love with someone. Yeah, in my personal opinion. In the line, you know, in the line at the store. And I was immediately like, as a friend, you know what I mean? Because this is really throwing me off, y'all. Like, because it just escalated so quickly. I feel like, you know what I mean? And he was like, no, as more. And before I could even question what the fuck he was saying, like, I was literally left speechless. I could even like question what the fuck he was saying. He walked away. And I remember I turned around and one of my coworkers was right behind me. And I asked her, I was like, did you just hear what he said? She said, no, but like I could hear like he was talking to you in like a flirty tone. Like I could hear the like flirtiness of what he was saying. So I broke down what he said. Oh, I forgot, y'all. Okay, so this is probably gonna be cut in between something, sorry y'all. We were working together maybe later that night after he had said he's still looking for his wife, and I needed like coins in my register. So I asked him to get the coins for me, and as he's like getting the coins and putting the coins in, I noticed that his eye was red. And in the past, yeah, I'll use these ones. One of my coworkers, he's had like a red eye, and I've asked him like, oh, what's wrong with your eye? And he's like, oh, it's just a shot blood vessel. You know what I mean? Because you have concern for somebody when like they don't look they normally do, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just expressing concern. It's called like having empathy. So when I asked him, he said Cupid shot an arrow through my eye, and if I'm still in like, I'm in disbelief, you know, like, what the fuck, what is, because he says so many weird things and he mumbles. Like, that's one thing. I think he uses his mumbling to his advantage, like talking under his breath. So like after he said that, I was like, huh? Like, I pretended like I couldn't hear him, and he's like, oh, never mind. And I immediately told my coworkers, the ones that I like, immediately, oh, he said some weird, he be saying weird ass shit. Like, I literally ran over and I told him, I was like, he's saying weird ass shit, y'all. And then there came the day where he came in on his off day. So I was like, oh my god. So I was gonna tell a higher up, but that day we were short staffed, and our team leader, the assistant team leader, she had been working like a 10-hour shift. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna tell her now just because, you know, it seems like she has a lot on her plate. But the next time I come in, I'm gonna tell my team leader if it's her or if it's my actual team leader, because she's just the assistant team leader. I'll tell the actual team leader, because this is crazy and it's just like escalating, because he came in on his off day to confess. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, y'all? I forgot to put on my cream bronzer, and I love cream bronzer. Again, always skipping steps when I'm doing my makeup. So basically, I told my team leader everything that I basically told you guys just now, and he called the assistant team leader. I feel like when I told them, they were both like, what the fuck? They kind of weren't surprised by what I was saying. They genuinely weren't surprised by what I was saying. Or like, yeah, we got like weird vibes from him too. Like he does this, that, and the third. That gives us weird vibes. And then now they're just doing an investigation against him. But I still have to see him at like the gym, and I still have to see him at work. And as I said, like at the gym, again, it's just, I don't even talk to him. I haven't talked to him. Oh my god, I'll get to that in a second. But like at the gym, he just like stared at me like he genuinely thought we were gonna be like cool after he said that weird, like after he gave his weird confession. But I remember the day that I reported him, he came up to me in like an aggressive tone, and he was like, it feels like, he was like, do you know why our team leader is like looking and treating me differently? And I was like, I don't know, you know what I mean, like I don't know. And he just kept pressing me, and he was very aggressive, and I said, you're making me uncomfortable. It's like, okay, and he left. The problem is that he doesn't know that I told my friends. So he's been telling my friends, like my other coworkers, he's been telling them things, and he's being like very manipulative, like the way that he's talking. He's saying that like he feels like betrayed, like I led him on. But it's like, nobody told you to come in on your off day and confess to your subordinate, somebody who's beneath you, that you're in love with them. Like nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to do that. To me, it seems like victim blaming, like he's in a deep state. At first, I thought he was being like delusional, you know what I mean? Like was seeing things that weren't there. But then I realized he's actually being like really manipulative. He's being like manipulative, like he wants things to go his way. So he's manipulating people. Now that they're not, he's trying to like isolate me, innocent. But my coworker, they're like, I get this weird vibe from him too, you know what I mean? So they were like not falling for the things that he's saying. As I've said, I haven't talked to him since that time I told him that you make me uncomfortable, and I will, if I can find the footage, or if I still have the footage, I'll insert the clips where you can like see him at the gym staring at me. There's one clip where he probably thought I was gonna look up at him, but I didn't, and it's honestly just so sad to watch, because like a normal person probably would have googled, is it a smart idea to show up to your job on your day off and confess that you're in love with your coworker? Like Google would have been like, no, that's not a smart idea to be a creep, you know what I mean? But yeah, I haven't talked to him in like a month. We work together. I've noticed, and it makes me feel crazy, but I've noticed he does like little things to like get near me or to be like in my sight, and he uses them as excuses to like be near me. He even showed up like earlier this week. Oh, my camera's about to turn off because it's too hot. He showed up again on his off day. He showed up twice on his off day. The first day was to buy his girlfriend flowers. He was telling one of my coworkers, he's like, I can't tell my girlfriend because I know it'll hurt her feelings. Like, oh my, like, you know what I mean? Like it's giving you don't know how to take accountability, you don't know how to be a man, and the only feelings you're protecting are your own. Because your girlfriend, I'm pretty sure if she finds out that you're in love with one of your subordinates, she's gonna like dump your ass. I'm going with the setting spray. He's finding like little ways to make it seem like, oh, we're just coincidentally like next to each other, or I just need to coincidentally use the thing that's like right next to you. Yeah, I think this banana powder is superb because look how like cool toned it is. Like powders are a little too orange. I don't like that. Like, this one smells hella good, but it's so orange. Like, he came to work not yesterday but the day before, and he didn't buy anything. He just was lingering. And the timing of it, he came like 30 minutes after I started my shift, but 20 minutes before our team leader showed up, and like an hour and two before our other team leader showed up. So like he did it like perfect timing to get away with it and be like less creepy, you know. So let's see, I'm gonna use another setting spray. It's just very scary because it's like, I don't think he genuinely thinks he's in love. I think it's like some sort of power control trip or something. Like, and he was even telling my coworker, he was like, I saw that she was scheduled. So he knows, like, you know what I mean? He's like, weird, it's just weird behavior. And my coworker is like, they were telling me like a few of them that I told, and then also just like some people know, sadly, because, you know, word spreads. Also, like, you know, if you already hate him and then you learn this information, of course you would want to, you know, spread it even more to prove your point that you fucking hate this person. But one of my coworkers was telling me, like, do you think he would like maybe follow you home from the gym one day, or like he could have, like, I'm glad you reported him because it could have got like physical. And it's so scary that, like, you know, like that's what people are thinking. Like it's to the point where it's like, okay, like now you kind of do have like some sort of stalker situation going on. And I truly believe he didn't stalk me to the gym because he didn't know that I worked out at this gym. But now, or like, not only are we intertwined at work, but we're now also intertwined at the gym, where I might run into you. Really scary. I don't think you can be in love with someone you barely know, you know? But I don't know what's going on in his brain. The amount that he stares kind of implies that he's probably making little fantasies in his head, and that's scary. He was telling my coworker that like he saw me smile at the gym at the floor, so that means like, why would I must be into him. Like, oh my god, like, why are you watching me? So that's exactly why I'm like actively avoiding him. I don't make any eye contact, I don't say anything to him. I thought my camera turned off because it was hot, but no, it's just because it's low battery. So yeah, as I said, it just seems like he's looking for any opportunity that says, oh, like, we're cool, and then he's just gonna continue. So it's been like a month since I've said anything to him. Okay, then my camera actually did turn off because of high heat, so I turned it off and I did my lashes. But as I was saying, I only work with him maybe like once a week now since I changed my schedule. I work with him twice this week, and sometimes he'll like switch shifts with people. Y'all know I got a bunch of new lip liners, so now I'm like, damn, which one do I use? They're all so good. Do we use MAC? No, we're gonna use the Makeup Forever Dimensional Brown. I still need to do my edges and stuff, try and do I cleaned like all my edgy brushes, y'all. I had been procrastinating cleaning my older edge brushes for like a month, and I finally cleaned them today. All I had to do was boil some hot water, let them soak in the hot water for like 10 minutes, and I literally got all the gunk and stuff off of them. They had been sitting in my bathroom on the counter for like a month. There we go. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Pray for me because I do have a stalker, so please pray for me. I'm about to get into it, y'all, and I need this tripod for my phone. So bye, guys.